Today's review and shave goes to this original leaf razor, which is designed for head shaving and body shaving. For some time now I've seen some guys touting this as the best head razor that they've ever used, and I can see why, which I'll share in this video. For myself, it has some pros and cons. In this video I'll run through the features and design of this razor, the pros and cons of how I see that. I'll also do a demo head shave. I've used it head shaving for a good few times before. We're going to run through a demo shave bit and I'll point out what I like and what I don't like so much. Leaf, the company behind this razor, stated that they're going to discontinue this razor, so I'm really glad that I grabbed hold of one. Just in case they're not available. Again, they're still available at the moment, so if you want one at the end of this video or in the future or near future, then they're still available. They have introduced a two-bladed razor because this one is a three-bladed razor. Now this razor, the original leaf razor, kind of bridges the gap between a cartridge razor like this Fusion 5 Power. Yeah, it bridges the gap between a cartridge razor and a safety razor. Now a safety razor, in my view, it's not that great for head shaving. It has no movement in the head, where the cartridge razor is actually brilliant for that because it moves, the top of the head moves like that, so it's more practical for the head and works better. So this bridges that gap, and part of bridging that gap and their sales intention, or their sales spiel, is because these blades are replaceable and they're cheap compared to a cartridge razor blade, or these cartridges, buying a pack of these. The blades for these are very inexpensive, and we can see that Leaf have kind of made it very similar to a cartridge razor. The way that head flexes on the cartridge razor, and the head flexes here as well, and then also having a long handle. Unlike a standard kind of safety razor, the handle's much longer. This is a Muller R89, yeah, and you can see it's much shorter. That has its advantages and disadvantages in my view. The one that I purchased was a starter kit in this box here. I'll show you what's inside the box. We obviously get the razor. The razor will come inside this white box here. And inside that box we also get a set of single edge blades. We get this metal box here where inside here we can slot the used blades inside. That's really handy. And I like this stand that we get with it. You can just pop the razor in there and it just stands up inside there nicely. There we go. And inside here is another set of blades as well. How many is there? Yeah, we've got 50 in a pack there. There's also a set of instructions if you want to have a little read through them, some basic instructions. So these, as I've said, use a single edge razor, where this type of razor, we use a double edge razor. That just means that this edge gets used and also that edge gets used. So what this really contains is half of one of these blades. And I'm going to show you the blade change in this now, and how I snap a blade, a DE blade, and use half of it. That's one of the cost cutting aspects of this razor. You can see that I've already got 3 blades inside there. I'm going to take them out. And how we remove these is we have a kind of bolt on the back of here, like a rounded bolt with grip on there. And this is tightened up slightly, not too tight, but what we do is we just loosen that off, and that loosens off the front section here. This, fortunately, although it will come out all the way there, but it won't fall out by accident, so that's quite useful. Then we'll see the top comes off. You'll see that I have one of the leaf blades inside there. Now that, when we put it on top of there, it's magnetic, so it does slot on there quite easy. So let's get rid of that one. Then remove that top section up there, remove the second one. Then we put that section up. Looks a little bit complex, doesn't it? But it's not that difficult. Then take the third one out. Now I'm going to use these Gillette 7 o'clock blades. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend one there like that, other way round. And then snap it. That's it. Usually here 2 snaps. That's one done. Let's do another one. Two snaps. There we go, there's the Gillette blade there, and you can see that it's exactly the same as the leaf blade. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put the first one inside there at the bottom first. Put the right way around. That's See that's like I said, is magnetic, so that sticks on there. It gives some assistance to putting it on there. I've closed that down now, the second flap, or the first flap. Then do the same, pop that one on there. You just got it, there's two notches there, you'll see there and there, they've just got the slide inside there. Then we'll put that flap down. And now put the third blade on. That's it, right, okay, then we slip that top one down. Then tighten this screw up at the back there. I don't tighten it too much, that's it, just finger tight is enough. And that's it, the blades are nicely lined up there. We also have the option of putting less blades on there, so if we was to leave the bottom blade off, or even the centre blade and only use the top blade, that would make it a less aggressive razor. Well, I haven't tried it out, I've just used the 3 blades. Right, so more importantly, let's get a head shave on. I've already washed up my head and I'm going to apply some shaving cream, whipped up into a lather with a shaving brush. I've got a few days of growth here now. I'll trim this down with a trimmer first. You may not see much there. I can zoom this in a little bit, can I? So you can get a good look at how much hair I've got, or how much hair I don't have around the back. I have this Kit Infinity shaving brush I'm going to use today. I've been using this a good few times recently for other shaves. I've already wet the brush and I'm using this True Fit and Heal Absolutely shaving soap. It's quite nice. It doesn't have a strong enough scent though for me, but it's yeah, it's a decent soap. I'm just going to take it from the puck, the shaving soap puck, and straight onto my head. If you're new to wet shaving traditionally, and you've been using gels and especially canned shaving foam, if you can get into using these shaving soaps or shaving creams, traditional ones, you know, hopefully you'll find a benefit from it. It's great stuff. Let's get nicely lathered up. There we go, I say that was done. Now let's get to it. One thing I'll note is that this handle, once my hands get wet, I find that it's quite slippy. Now I know that I checked on their website and Leaf Razor makes a rubber sleeve that can be put onto that, and that'd be very useful. I could have made these handles where they are knurled like a safety razor, or already made them a different material, because I find it quite slippy and that's not good for when I'm shaving my head. It does have this grip or some scoring here. It can provide some grip, but I don't find that it does. Okay, let's get to it. You can see this long handle straight away as soon as I start shaving. I'm holding it down there, I'm not using this part of the razor. So yeah, the long handle like this, I'm not sure about it. Well, not that I'm not sure about it, I don't like it that much. Now you can see that this blade, because it flexes, helps to maintain skin contact. However, I don't really like that it flexes all the way back, all the way down like that. Can you see the way it flexes all the way down? There's too much of a flip on it. Now they've kind of tried to follow the way that Cartridge razors are made, but if you take a look at this Fusion, it flexes but not quite all the way down. This flexes down too far. I think they just need to stop it about there. You can see, look, it's kind of a little bit floppy to me. Now around by the ears I've found this challenging, because see this top section there, that's quite a long gap, quite a wide gap. So getting in by around the ears is quite tricky because of that gap. Now something like this Cartridge razor only has a small gap at the top there, and then a safety razor, you know, only has a small gap there as well. So this top head is a little bit wide for going around the ear section. Let's add a bit of water on this soap. Let's drying up pretty quick. I'll show you in the back of the head. Great around the back of the head. Yeah, that's brilliant there. Okay, this side, let's get up on this side here. I'll have to show you guys some of the angles I can do correctly with a camera, and trying to have a mirror here as well. Okay. Now around this ear section again, the top of the ears. Got to try and get them blades to catch the hair, you know, about this part getting in the way, this top section. Okay, you can get there. Like a lot of razors, it just takes a few uses to get used to how they function best, and how we can make them work best for ourselves. Right, okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water on and just check around. That's mostly done. I've just got a few patches to clear off on, so yeah, it's feeling great. It's feeling close, which equals great, as long as there's no cuts. Oh, I will mention that I have, when I first started using it the first couple of times, I did get a few nicks, but it wasn't really nicks. I reckon because I've been using the electric head shavers, doing reviews for those for a little while, that my head wasn't used to having a razor on it. So I found after a day or so, I thought, oh, I've got a couple of scabs there. But my head has soon adjusted to all that. And that's what we get when we got a blade getting very close to the skin and getting a very close shave. You know, there's a risk of chopping off, cutting anything that is not flat on the head. Any spots or anything like that. Right, perfect. That feels great. Right, let's get rinsed off. Most of the hair as I'm rinsing off comes out between the blades. If I was using it under the tap, running water, it'd wash out a little bit easier. I'm not using a sink and tap at the moment. I'm using a bowl. Okay, how's the finish then? Let's have a check around. Perfect head shave. Yeah, that's as close as it gets. Yeah, I've cleared up around the ears well enough. The back of the head, how's the back of the bumps, guys? Excellent. Yeah, it's a great head razor, Better Dave's, and they're going to save money on those blades. As I've mentioned, there's a couple of flaws or things that I don't quite like, and that's that the head clips a little bit too much. Don't quite like a long handle so much on this. Also having no grip. I'd like a design different to the handle, although like I said, on the Leaf website they have a rubber thing that rubber sleeve that we can put around it that'll help with grip. And then that top head section, yeah, can be tricky around the ears, but you know, once you get used to it, it's doable, it's fine. Now as a body razor, I reckon it'd be pretty good, yeah, for shaving the chest, longer areas or larger areas like the chest and the legs. I think this will be very good. And of course that cost cutting aspect is something to definitely to be thinking about, of just buying these the double-edged razor blades and using those rather than purchasing your cartridge razor blades. But, I'm not trying to convert anybody. Some of the traditional wet shaving enthusiasts and stores try to convert people from cartridge razors to safety razors to traditional wet shave. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I think for the guy who wet shaves and uses the safety razor for head shaving, they're going to most definitely enjoy using this. But also guys switching from a cartridge razor won't have too much of a challenge with this compared to a safety razor head shaving. I think a challenge some of the guys switching over from a cartridge razor is going to be, if you've got a cartridge razor, you're going to use it head shaving and facial shaving at the same time, where I wouldn't use this for facial shaving. I've tried it, I've tested it out, and this floppy head is just not suitable for me. Plus that gap there, that large gap, was not very good at all underneath the nose area. And it's not designed for facial shaving anyway. If you have any interest in any of the other leaf razors, then I've just done a review, which you'll see a box come up for the leaf razor twig. And I'm also now using the more aggressive, the leaf twig razor is a mild razor, but now I'm also using the leaf thorn, which is a bit more aggressive razor. And a review will be coming up for this pretty soon. For any of the products that I've used, like the True Fit and Heal shaving soap and Kent Affinity shaving brush, any other items that I use while shaving, I'll put links in the description to reviews of those. And there'll also be a review on the website shavingadvisor.com for this razor, but I may cover extra detail that you don't get in the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.